Hello.
Hang on. Oh, I guess it's 4 now. But
Yeah.
I'll pause it for a second.
You can let it run.
Yeah, I guess so.
Hello, Raymond.
Hey. Wasn't sure if you were going tonight.
What's happening, Ray?
I wouldn't miss it for the world,
For the
Ray.
world.
Good?
Alan, you can sit at the table.
Not official.
Yeah, you're an official Mount
Semi-official?
District member.
I like looking at Dave's back.
Yeah. That's for next. All right, 4 o'clock. We'll call this meeting to order. Let's go to the next meeting. We're full of meetings.
Which one's that for? Is that for the forest?
Forestry. Yeah. You hanging out for that?
No, I don't think so, but I want to take a look at it.
There's like 4 different things. It's not, he has the agendas. These are just handouts.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was going to ask a bunch of
And you can hear us? Can people on Zoom hear us?
I think that was just one page. This is old, but just as information.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I don't know.
Okay, that's 2. That's a lot.
So we got some nice popcorn from the snack bar if anyone wants some.
Mm-hmm.
Kids worked hard, staff worked hard on it.
All you people out there in Zoom aren't getting to enjoy this beautiful popcorn donated by Eric. Anyway, 4:01 now. We'll call this meeting to order. It's August 5th. This is the Mountain Lakes Revitalization Monteau meeting. I'm here as the meeting chair, Dave Long.
Eric Cassidy's here.
Ray Martin's here, member.
Hey, Dottie. Dottie and Alan are here as guests.
Are you here for the meeting, Mama?
Yes, I am.
Excellent. So we had our race this last, or 2 weekends ago now, I suppose. Everything went off very successfully. We've got financials you wanted to go over.
Yeah, I'm pulling them up and sharing them on the screen right now. Dottie, actually, now that you're here, do you have a final number that was spent? Because if I can put that in, then I have the finishing numbers here.
We spent $226.81.
Total?
Yes, because what we did was we spent $462 between sausage, eggs, cheese, not eggs, cheese, the whole thing. And but then the volunteers purchased all the remaining stuff.
Yep.
We divided up whoever wanted what.
Yep. And so I think the only person that owes money you said is me, $9 for eggs.
Correct.
Okay.
So minus that $236, we actually would have spent $226.81.
Okay. So I'm just gonna, jump to the gun here or whatever and just say that we made $4,385 in profit this year, which is almost 50%. We'll call it 45% higher than last year's profit. I have all the expenses. I had the income. I can verify the income one last time with, our administrative office. But I'm almost certain we got $150 from Reckless. They donated that.
That was cool.
We had a random $20 donation. Beer sales didn't do great for us.
Especially on Sunday.
Yeah, we didn't even sell beer on Sunday.
Yeah.
But we made $346 a day before with that. Breakfast almost profited a total of $1,000 at $985 in profit.
Really?
No, I'm sorry. And maybe that's gross income.
Yeah, that's your sales.
That's gross income. So we almost grossed $1,000 in sales. That's pretty good.
$985, but less $226 was your food supply.
Right.
So you're $750.
Not bad though.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's very good.
Yeah, that's a lot of money for a weekend for us. And then we probably could add more bike racers.
Yeah.
But the rain kind of, I feel like, might have scared a few racers away. So
talking to George Ulmer there, he said that that's what people do. Is like you've got your dead set people that are going to race rain or shine, and then you've got more your fair weather people that are going to watch the radar and kind of pay attention, and you're just kind of at the mercy of the weather. We all are. That's just kind of the crux of it. So we did get some good rain there on Sunday. Holy cow. So yeah, that's what
I brought it with me, I think. I got there about 11, and that's about when it started.
It all opened up.
yeah.
Yeah, that was something. I was up on the mountain at that time, and those guys are just still, guys and girls, just still chugging right down, and more power to them.
Yeah, so almost 4,400, 4,385. I mean, that's a really good weekend for the district. It's a really good, again, second proof of what this mountain can do, what this asset can do for the district. And it's all in the name of just making it better and better in the future. So it was a beautiful thing to me.
Anything else to discuss? I didn't really have much that came up. I feel like for future events, I've got some other ideas I kind of wanted to jot down and keep a running list on just as far as preparation. Getting ready, because the last week or so there was a lot of, all right, I got to do this, I got to do that, and there wasn't a lot. There was a lot of people that were willing to volunteer, and it was awesome. But I think we could do a better job of outlining what that volunteer hour looks like. I think you jotted that down, didn't you?
Sort of.
Yeah.
It's just self-organization volunteers. I meant not just for that, but in that process, we have some of those lists building up.
Right.
But it would be good to just, make sure we're all on the same page here about what we want to do so that we can send off people who feel like going on their days off and any free time that they want to do it. Mm-hmm. So it's not always just coordinating a time together, but, if Alan or someone else wants to just go clean up a trail or work on something, it'd be great to have open-ended projects that people could go work on, as long as we're all in agreement with it.
I certainly would be. That seems like a logical direction. How are you thinking about the best way to compile that kind of information?
Well, we have like a kind of a to-do list I've already written up.
Yeah.
I think it just needs to be maybe at some point walked over out there so we're all on the same page, and then detailed better in the punch list. Just so that, we're all on the same page for real, and so it's not confusing or anything like that.
Did we set a date for the fall trail cleanup?
Nope. Sorry. I was really hungry.
Sorry.
No, but we can do that right now if you want.
I think we should, and then we could make it a point to do that walkthrough while we're over there.
Okay.
Right? Because we'll have a handful of people
so
that are going to be there. So the next time
we have a big group of volunteers, we can... Yeah.
Start punch listing things. Anthony, I know you and I talked about some water bars and things on that climbing trail, the stroll there.
Yeah, I think we all concur that the stroll is kind of our low-hanging fruit as far as skiing, hiking, and everything. And I think that, water bar control, starting there would be a great place.
That's
among all the other things.
Yeah. Anthony, does my tractor serve you guys well with the water baller concept, or do you want to do it manually?
I think manually, because they're pretty much there. It doesn't take much difference in grade to get the water go out. There might be some big ones on the bottom before you get to the Rescue Road C that goes to the top of the field. That area, that first climb that's got the heavy duty erosion, that definitely could use that may use the bucket to put the ditches, from the road into the existing stream. But above that first cut across road is definitely it's called a grub hoe. It's a big hoe. Goes pretty quickly. Doesn't take a lot of time to scratch out. an existing ditch, and I did put a lot of them in. They're pretty much all in above the cut across road. They just need to be freshened up as ditches do anywhere. It just has to be an annual maintenance thing. Both the roadside ditches and water bars and all that stuff. But again, I think we all agree that the stroll is where we want to start concentrating our trail efforts, being a low hanging fruit in terms of getting it skiable and especially skiable as soon as possible. And then I was going to post that after last year's race. I posted a little map with those two upper loops that also are low hanging fruit in terms of getting them open for skiing. This winter or whenever it snows, they're pretty much there already. But it'd be nice to revisit that and again map in the folder with the other maps and stuff.
So aside from water bars, you're gonna want like some small chainsawing and hedge trimming and stuff like that for those trails.
No, the trails, the bike trails were in super good shape. Thanks very much. I don't see, and Dave we cut a bunch of blow down on the new trail. There is on that stroll. I had envisioned, bush hogging on the right, the sides of it, and probably everyone's seen all my crazy orange flags there. But what I was doing there was marking out species and trees that were basically less than 4-inch diameters. They should stay, and everything else can go. I didn't bother marking, bigger ones that kind of by default stay, but I did mark lots of hot hornbeam that are skinnier and pretty much everything. Anytime anyone's welcome to go up and start thinning out that trail on the left-hand side. The right-hand side, the right of the four-wheeler track, I envisioned that being just bush hog and opening up that side because it's all saplings that won't mount to anything because of the shade on the side. They'll just tilt over into the trail and create a mess. Whereas the left side, there's potential for those trees to develop and grow. And the benefit being we'll have both, a graded half of the trail and a, 20 to 30 foot wide swath so that we kind of have it all there. So that's my vision. And obviously.
So Anthony, on those trails that you had, you got orange tape around like a pile of those little trees. Those are to save or those are to go?
Those are to save.
To save. And everything else that isn't marked is kind of open, fair game as far as you.
Yeah, especially if it's less than, I tried to just focus on the ones less than 4 inches because the big trees can stay. The stuff that's not marked and much larger, larger stay. I kind of marked like 5 inches and down to stay.
Yeah.
Everything else below that diameter limit can go. The big trees are a lot of work, and I'd like to see them to stay, and we can always take them out at a later date or whatever. Sure. So basically,
the
brush
other thing
out
is allowing that snow trees to fall. Like right now, you can't really get up to daylight at all, which is going to limit the amount of snow that's going to hit that trail. So I think a lot of that, being able to clear that up will allow that to be able to be a little bit easier to be skiable if we have a decent snow year,
Yeah.
So working up the more strolls trail all the way to the top.
Yeah, and that's basically our uphill travel. So the idea side of that trail would be the skin up approach, and then the skier's right side of that trail would be your skiing down.
So
yeah, and the skin up side, it only takes a 5 foot swath. That can be
right.
Extreme right, hikers right, and then there would be 30 or 40 feet, or in some places wall to wall where it would be open. Some of that trail, a lot of it is cleared already from one side to the other, but the skin track would be probably on the extreme right side. Again, only a couple of feet wide.
Do you know if we've gotten Bill yet from Ed?
That's what I was writing to talk about. So yeah, I was going to say we need to know Ed Page's billing for both Mountain Lakes and for these hat sales to see how much more we can just fund through what we've already approved or have donated.
Right.
So one of us can communicate and get that figured out real soon with Ed.
Because I think just with some rough numbers, we haven't spent all the money that we were allocated from this committee.
Right, and I don't think I've spent
like any of that money.
some. He did.
Oh yeah, for
he did that
skiway.
trail. So that was a huge thing that he did, but I think he's only billing a couple, like 4 or 5 hours. So I think I have some more.
Right. So to be able to brush hog that side of the stroll and open that right up would be pretty awesome.
See where we get with that. So let's communicate with Ed and just try to hire him for the rest of that money.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Shoot.
If this is a good time for a question.
Sure.
So the money that you're talking about that you just spent on brush hogging and whatnot, isn't that an expense against the?
That was an expense.
Event?
That was a spend, not an expense. That was a spend. It's the income that we did profit last year. So once we made about $3,000 last year, we agreed to spend about $800 on brush hogging from the $3,000 in the rec fund. So I don't see it as like I should delete it right away. I mean, it was like almost a year later that we finally grabbed from last year. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it was last year's profit.
So now we're about at over 7,000 in income. We've only approved 800 to be spent so far for the Monteau.
Eric, could I add another thing about traffic?
Anthony, wait.
Didn't Eddie say that he was going to charge you $700 to do a specific amount of work up there?
So many hours. It was going to be billed by the hour.
Okay.
And he figured it would take him a day, so he said $700 to $800. So that's what when we came to the commissioners to ask.
Yeah.
We asked him.
He took more than a day to do that. I know he was up there a couple of days.
He was up there a couple of days, but not.
One of them was paid through the hat side of things, the Skiway Drive Trail.
Okay.
So he was aware of those hours of being directly for me to pay him from the hats.
You look like you still
Yeah,
got a
you look
question.
very
Well,
concerned.
yeah, because I don't understand the tax sales. So this is not going to the district?
That was my intention with the hat sales. It's just to fundraise an extra $1,000 on the side, and I'm almost out of hats.
Okay. We got to watch how we do that, and I'm not sure.
I think we can talk about that later because I own property up there, so I can do it for myself or as a commissioner.
You're a commissioner too.
Piece of land that, you could argue that's why I did it, but that's not why I did it.
Anthony, what do you got?
Well, I was again thinking about projects, and I told Eric we don't need a tractor. One project that I see is, really important and maybe a little bit longer term is making that first cut of Rescue Road C, the first one that goes across the field, making it travelable for vehicles. Getting the drainage ditches in and clearing the sides to get material in. I don't know what the skier is going to need on top, but certainly getting material in for bridges. I'm accumulating many thousands of dollars worth of pressure treated lumber that's going to be used to, go over wet spots and marshes and build bridges. And also on the bottom of the big toe, that big wide trail just below that road is pretty ideal from some sort of a jump line, which would require bringing in dirt. But, for whatever's going on, I think having that road travelable again for heavier vehicles would be, an excellent project. There, the drainage ditches will need a backhoe, and there's like a significant amount of wood on either side. There's clearing there. I've been whittling away at it over the years, but there's a lot of clearing that needs to be done to the ditches so that we can revitalize the ditches on the side of the road, get the water off it, so we can get vehicles in there to carry dirt, lumber, the top of the rope tow. I know you're looking at a portable one. I'm not sure how, whether you can hike it up the field. But anyway, I just see that as an infrastructure.
Anthony, on that Rescue Road C, is that the one that's on top where Ed started brush hogging down?
It comes off the first sharp corner on Skiway Terrace.
I got you. Let's see, improvement. And there are ditches and probably no water bars, but there is ditching on that road already.
Yeah, I did put it because it got pretty messed up this spring. I did start ditches, but there's too many trees on either side, to get to the ditches to clear them out. I did put ditches in there, but they kind of end at the edge of the road because it goes into the woods and there's saplings and things, and so that's I think an important project, but it's a lot more work than water bars.
Well, that's good. I mean, it's good. We'll get these all on a list, and then we can work on them in order of importance and volunteerism. Like who wants to work on what.
Yeah.
So we've got Rescue Road C. We've got the stroll. Another one that I had in mind was basically just finishing that ditch line on the Bunny Hill.
Yes.
What was the rope tow? Because that ditch line works great, but it just doesn't make it to the brook.
Yeah, there's 3 ditch lines on that hill, and the trees need to be cut to the brook so we can put, the ditch is pretty good shape in the field, but the ditches end, at the edge when they hit the trees. And certainly cutting the trees out of those ditches between the Bunny Hill and the brook is definitely a priority to drain that. And I think we had talked about drainage on the bottom. Dave and I had talked about drainage just in that whole bottom area. To keep it dry. And we all saw where the water comes from and ends up on Sunday. And yes, that's certainly a bigger project that might need a little backhoe and a lot of chainsaw and so forth.
Okay, so you're talking about the far right side of the Bunny Hill?
Looking at it, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's something that we're going to start attacking as well with, I believe, Rick Vance. He's got that arm boom mower thing.
Yeah.
Oh, those things are incredible.
Yeah, so I took him over to the hill, and he said he'd be comfortable riding up and clearing that in the future. So he's already going to be working with the district for some other stuff. And he's charging a very fair price. So I'm pretty sure we could, start accessing up that trail with him in the near future too.
Can you get those trees up there with that? I know there's bigger, larger trees up along that area that you're talking about.
I don't know what he can do because I haven't seen his machine. So I pointed out stuff to him by our leach field to the lodge on the right-hand side of the leach field when you're looking at it. And I pointed up that hill that we're talking about right now to the right. I said, can you clean both of these things with that kind of machine? He goes, yeah. I said, are you comfortable? He goes, pretty much. So,
pretty much.
Yeah. So that's where we're at with him. And John was just coordinating to bring him here. And then once he was here, maybe second day, because he only was going to charge $100 an hour.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure when he was. Do you know when he was coming?
No, I know he's got to do the dam.
Yeah.
And that's got to be done sooner rather than later.
Right. So I was saying to him, maybe if he was here for one full day with the dam and his machine was here, he could just go over the Monteau and the lodge area and just do a day too. I mean, $100 an hour. I think.
Where is he from?
He's the road agent in Bath.
Oh, that's right.
In my opinion, the Bath roads are phenomenal. I've been driving a Prius for the first 3 years up here on all those dirt roads and never had a single issue in the winter or nothing.
They take good care of it.
He's unbelievable. I showed him over there. So when I realized it was him doing this, I knew we were in good hands.
Yeah, good. All right, so that identifies 3 good spots that we could really kind of focus on to improve. That Rescue Road C, the stroll, and then the ditch lines on the Bunny Hill.
Okay.
Anybody have anything else that
I do.
Yeah, go ahead.
The next thing on the bullet point of the thing is once we get to the top of the uphill, I'd like to look at how we could start clearing a view on the top of the summit.
Mhm.
I mean, what's the point of being, doing all these hikes and stuff if you don't get some kind of reward, in my opinion?
Mhm.
And you can really look off down at what I believe is called Kinsman Notch, which is looking down the Kank. It's just it's kind of where that beaver pond is, like on the Kank. But you can see through that in the morning. You can see a sunrise is coming right up from there.
Not with this haze.
Yeah, that's true.
Can't see it. You can't see anything.
Yeah.
Black Mountain not too shabby either to look at.
Yeah, well, that's straight ahead too. That's a great point. Yeah, and then people have sent me photos of like the 80s and 90s of when they were on Monteau going down the ski trails. You can see the lake the whole time you're going down. So if we started opening up ski trails, just going up, turn around, you'd be looking at the lake at times. So that'll all come back if we start making the trails, I think.
Right.
Some more view spots.
One other thing, Dave, on the entrance to where the guys were going in across from Greet's house.
Yeah.
You talked about putting a bridge there.
Yep.
Did you already talk about that?
No, I think it would have to be, bridge or culvert.
That probably needs a culvert because they took the culvert out of there.
Yeah.
It's a
I
road.
think if you put a culvert in there, put a plastic culvert in there, that you wouldn't have to do a bridge.
Right.
Stone, riprap on the front of it and on the end of it, and you'd probably need whatever size that other one that was 12, 16 inch maybe.
Something like that. Yep.
Yeah. And the culvert would probably be the least expensive way out of that.
And the most permanent, because if it turns back into a road eventually, you'd be ripping out a bridge anyway, so.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Okay, so we got the Stroll, Rescue Road, the Bunny Hill right side, and then I'm just saying, like, once we make it to the top of the Stroll, I mean, we should just, at some point, we should stand up at the top and figure out what we can do up there.
Bring a 12-foot ladder and start looking around.
Yeah.
See which way we should cut.
Oh, yeah. Or just go up in November.
Yeah. So I don't want to move on yet from the entrance to Skiway Drive because I have a question. Like everything else that we're talking about is kind of not volunteer efforts, but lower cost stuff, right? That entrance to Skiway Drive, you're talking about a 20-foot culvert, and padding all that out. You're going to be a couple $2,500 into that. I mean, a 12-inch, 20-foot culvert is probably $900.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're probably in the ballpark there, yeah.
So it's just
Would that be
for the time being, if the access is there for bikes? I mean, Anthony's take on it when we were there, and the other guys' take on it was perfectly fine, but it'll continue to wash out and be a problem.
Well, that's the dirt going down there.
Right. So we could throw a bridge up there for no cost. That would be.
The ditch for the water is immediately above where we cut in, and it wouldn't take more than minutes to make sure the water doesn't go down that trail that I cut out. The water is going. There's another ditch uphill that's in place and ready to go, and you just need to. There'd be a water bar just to make sure that the water doesn't flow down that ditch and goes to where it's been going, which is higher up. So that might be a more immediate project is to get a water bar right on top of that. About 50 feet in, the water already is.
Where's Anthony? Yeah, I was trying to track you. I think we're talking about right across from Mr. Greet's cabin.
Yes.
Yeah, that's where you're talking about?
Yes.
Because the water's going to come right down that ditch line, and when the water gets heavy, I'm sure that.
I'm saying that it won't if the water bar goes in about 20, pretty much at the top, 20 feet in off Skiway Terrace.
Oh, off Skiway Drive. I'm talking about just the overall water that's going to come down Skiway Terrace.
Oh yeah, well, yes, and maybe that should be a priority.
Randy was the best man at the wedding. I'll never forget. She wore like a big hat, like a big southern
Hey,
hat,
Randy, can you just
big
put
poofy
yourself on
sleeves.
mute?
It was just not her. Like when we all started.
It won't let you.
Like,
It won't let me mute him.
oh,
Hey, Randy, I'm not sure if you can hear us. Oh, maybe it wasn't Randy.
No, it was, but I got him muted.
So yeah, and then so a water bar up on Swing Dock is doable, and that's an easy enough project.
Yeah, it is.
So that goes on the list.
Yeah, and I guess that's a super high priority because that's a fresh ditch, and we definitely want to keep the water out of it.
So water bar on Skiway Drive.
And like I said, the water already is
something to do.
going away from it, which is good, so it won't take much. The water is currently going to the right as you're coming down the hill. It's already been flowing that way, so it won't take much to keep it flowing that way.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, so good enough. So with the summit view clearing, I guess it's just a matter of what's got to come down, and then it becomes what do the trees look like? Do the trees come out? And maybe that's a conversation that we have at a 5:00 meeting if anybody's interested.
Right, that's a great point. Yeah.
even if they don't take much
We have a forest meeting that's coming up here after this meeting. So that might be something that we discuss at that point. But I think realistically, you're talking a dozen, maybe 20 trees that would need to be cut to open up that vista from the top of that.
Yeah.
Which that's a volunteer effort as far as I'm concerned. We could drop them, stack the firewood up there, and let it be.
Okay. Yeah, there's plenty of land.
Skills Park, that was a discussion that came up. There was some really cool ideas that people had, There's always ideas, people, that were super pumped about the event and what we had going on and just offering up some ideas. So we had a pretty cool conversation about, we had been discussing what they call a pump track, which is basically just like a little BMX track that everybody can ride around on. And the idea being, was he in New York, that guy?
Maine.
Oh, in Maine, that's right.
Central Maine.
And they're organizing and building what they're calling a skills park, which incorporates some wooden ramps, some, what would you call it, like a teeter-totter kind of thing.
Almost
and
like a
just,
seesaw?
yeah. So just some different ideas for, there's some cool stuff out there. So he sent us a bunch of information. We have that all available. We could probably put links to that on that Monteau site.
Yeah,
not the website, but just that Google Doc folder.
Yeah, those things, those skills parks are really easy to build. It doesn't take much. Some logs and some boards for the kids to ride on, little drops, progressive, a 6-incher, an 8-incher, little, ramp to ride off. And I didn't think about that. That is like super low hanging fruit as far as making stuff for the kids, and they love it.
Yeah. I took some pictures and the one up in Littleton at they have one of those teeter-totter kind of things. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, and to go with that skills park for the kids would just be like a concept of intermediate or novice bike trails, where I see like where across from the lodge, across the road from the lodge, we have that one trail that kind of loops up and around, and then there's some terrain there that I feel like is smaller.
Mm-hmm.
It could be kid stuff, again, for riding too. It might be that trail, it might be some spur trails off that. But I don't know if Anthony's seen that side of things, or next time we coordinate with him.
I really feel like that whole side where like there's so much deadfall and so many dead trees, and we've done a good job the last couple of years in cleaning it up, but there's still a lot to go. And to be able to, I'm really excited to see what they do, what this guy can do with his tractor, with his down there because that could be a game changer for us. And
Okay.
because I keep looking, it's just daunting, you know, like you go in there and you clean up so much, but there is so much deadfall
It's like a graveyard
in those woods. It's awful.
I know, yeah.
And it doesn't get any sunlight, so there's no good growth in there.
Yeah.
And really, to go in there and just like mop all those trees, to get rid of all those pine trees, and let some of those small, because there's little trees like this that want to grow, but there's no light, and it's wasted.
Probably, I was actually walking through there just before this meeting and thinking that's probably more forestry.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Yeah, absolutely.
just to have someone look at that side of things too. And
absolutely.
because I was like, this doesn't actually look healthy to me. Right
No,
now.
it looks terrible.
There's some huge pine trees over in that.
Yeah, there definitely is. Yep. But yeah, I do agree that I think that area is just asking for, you know, some nice intermediate style trails that are a little bit more doable.
Yeah. And Anthony, novice bike trails could, you know, serve as a cross-country ski trail, you know, or is that something else we could look at somewhere, you know, going side to side, not so much up and down?
Yeah, they definitely could serve as cross-country trails. As, you know, I did, you know, walk up with you. There was one, you know, by the sewer field. That was pretty steep. You know, we went up and over the lump there. That would be too much. So I just need to look around. But yes, a beginner bike trail and a cross-country ski trail are completely compatible, depending on how twisty and tight you make all the turns. You know, depending on how you lay it out. You can lay it out with the intent of being multi-use versus sometimes a single-track beginner bike trail gets really twisty and windy and sinuous. So we could just, you know, lay it out with, you know, the corners, keeping in mind that a cross-country skier can be in there as well as a
Yep.
There were cross-country ski trails as part of Monteau way back when, and I don't know if there is a trail map for that. I mean, it's on the price list for the on that white painted sign that's over there.
Dave, I think it was actually the trails that we clean every a couple of years, whatever.
In that neck of the woods, yeah.
Yeah.
That would make sense. But,
And area, you know, like the area between the lodge and Swiftwater.
Yeah.
That whole flat area.
Yeah.
It was a nice little trail.
That's where she's on here.
So my wife just picked up a cross-country groomer. It's like you can drag it behind yourself or a piece of equipment or whatever, and it makes a nice cross-country trail. So she was able to pick that up.
Who's that?
My wife did. So we have it out.
Nice.
It works.
Okay.
Oh, we need the snow.
Volunteer backpack snow groomer. I'm looking forward to being able to use it though. It should be cool. Grant, everybody good to move on from that? I think I got 7 things on the list, and each one of them has a subsection. So I think we're gonna move on from adding to our.
Can you hear me?
Oh
yeah, I just wanted to speak on some of the trail developments for a second. So I think it's important that we kind of figure out how we collaborate with the forestry committee on how we're developing these trails, but I'm excited that we are going to just keep plugging away at things. But I think getting Granite Backcountry Alliance here to kind of discuss how we can develop that, and then also getting maybe a from Ammonoosuc Conservation Trust or Upper Valley Land Trust around just to kind of see what their opinion would be on some of the conservation aspects of things is important, just to make sure we're not going overboard or being too willy-nilly with some of our plans.
Sure. Yeah, that's why we're having the 5 p.m. forestry meeting to start that too, so that when we start, you know, cutting more trails, it's in alignment with the advisory of the forester. And what was the other thing that you just said? Yeah, I mean, yeah, we have that in mind. Oh, and the next thing on our list is to, try to reschedule Granite State Backcountry, which is to that point. It's been really hard getting
Yeah.
a hold of him, Dave. I was going to ask you. Feels like I don't know if our contact is.
Yeah. Time frame for everybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he hasn't responded to an email or a call in over a month and a half. So I was going to try to contact like the whole group and be like, "What's going on with your executive director right now?" Because it's been crickets.
Yeah, I think that's smart.
And they were. Who's that?
I think that's smart to do that, except given the fact that his father passed away or was sick, something like that.
I don't know what happened. I was assuming something terrible happened because he never responded. But
his dad got sick. That was the last correspondence that I had with him, and then, but it was so just sent him the best, and the plan was to get back together. But that was 2 months ago now.
So he left his. Yeah, I tried calling him yesterday and texting and emailing. So that's
back on the top of the list now that the race is kind of in our rear view a little bit. So we'll continue to work on that.
And now we can fully plan on how we can make Monteau the best multi-recreational area in our area. And I think that's what's super exciting about how we can move forward with this planning. So just making sure that we have the right stakeholders at the table when we're doing that.
Yep. Understood. How did you do with the kombucha? You made some sales. I know you were trying to get out of there, and people wouldn't even let you leave because you were selling so much kombucha.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I was a little bummed out the race was actually Sunday and not Saturday because that didn't work best with my schedule. But then Sunday ended up being a rainy day. So for the little amount of traffic we had in the beer area, I sold like at least a couple cases of kombucha, which was fantastic.
Cool.
Better than expected.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very good.
I think I said it was more of a kombucha crowd than a beer crowd.
I think like advertising like to the community that, hey, we have this amazing food truck and we have amazing beer, amazing non-alcoholic options, kind of doing that as we look at the next bike race, I think will really help increase the foot traffic there and maybe like having some kind of planned out like viewing spots so people in the community can come and look and say, wow, this is amazing. These people that do this right, they're into what they do and they're having a blast.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
Trail markers for those lower trails. I know did you start toying around with those yet? Or?
My 3D printer, the one that was going to print those, got delivered like a week ago.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say it died.
No. And I bought one that was like, I saved like $200 by putting it together. So now I got to put it together myself. That was like something I wanted to do when I had a broken leg. It's like now I have to spend the time to do it some other time. So I'll get that going. I've already designed. I took the Mountain Lakes emblem. Like the mountain with the M and everything.
I thought you had some made up already.
Yeah, no, I made the design.
Okay.
And then I changed colors. I did red, green, yellow, blue, purple. So that was what I was thinking just for our generic trail signs. And then we could always throw in like a little bike or hike or ski symbol depending on what's what if there's specific trails. So I'll get going on that. I'll try to get them printed by next month, at least some samples. That way we can go in the fall and maybe re-tag the trails that Ray had recolored and things of that nature to kind of make things more, signify what's what out there.
Sounds good. When we were coming down, I think Al knows, but when we were coming down the trails, cleaning up all that, we left, just like we did last year, we left some of the markings, so it was white race tape, and just where it was tied around some of the trees, we left that and just cut it short. So all those trails are marked and pretty easy to find now. Between Saturday and Sunday.
So nice though, too.
Yeah.
Like I like most of those trails at this point.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
I've never
cool.
seen the trails on Monteau look so good.
It was pretty cool to see the S-turn kind of burned into that bunny hill. I'm not gonna lie, I really loved that. When the race tape came down and you could really see it, I was like, that's pretty cool.
Dave, I was excited last year that the racer didn't leave big ruts in there that we had to clean up, and I think it got burned in, but not sunk in.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't, we don't need to have the bikers putting in, ruts. But anyway, I was happy to see that it was burned and not, rutted in.
So future events we got on here, we kind of got mixed feedback from George and the Eastern States Cup, whether they will have, number one, they will have an enduro event next year, which, I don't know, he may or may not, we don't know, that's not our gig. But he really had a good time and really enjoyed himself. I think it was super helpful that he was allowed to have his dog there and run around, and his dog had the time of its life. And he's told me that he would love to come back if we'd have him again next year. So
yeah, I think it's going to come down for him if he's got the staff for it.
He needs help, right? Just like everybody, he needs more help.
So
Dave, if he doesn't do it, is there somebody else in the enduro world that would take his spot and bring it in?
Anthony, I'll push that over to you. Could
you?
Yeah,
I did, and I did have that little conversation to tell you about other events like. And Spartan races, but as far as a racer can go, there really isn't much going on, which is why George Ulmer started. The reason he started was to get the race community together, because we all race in our own, ride in our own towns and ride in our own mountains. George wanted to get the community together, and he did that. The only thing that I can think of that's kind of a circuit is the college circuit, ECCC. Eastern Collegiate Cycling Club. But I'm not sure if that's going to be appropriate, because they're college kids. Let's leave it at that. And if we did have such a race, we might want to have the camping somewhere else, like at my property or something. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. Understood. Thanks.
One of the other volunteers from the weekend, she was a trail runner and said,
I thought I was just going to bring
that. Yeah, she was interested in bringing a trail run race.
There's all kinds of extreme events, 30-mile runs and mudders, and just people do crazy things and pay money to do it. And Monteau is a good place to have some of those extreme sporting events. And I think I sent an article to you folks about all the extreme events in New York State, but they happen, everywhere, and they draw people, from quite a distance to, run up and down Monteau 20 times, or whatever it is, and then splash in the snowmaking pond or.
We're in the middle of a meeting. Can we help you with something?
He's here for the next one.
Oh, you're here for the forestry. Okay.
We got a 5 o'clock.
Yeah, we're just wrapping up a different meeting. It kind of ties in, but we'll be,
We're getting back to, her name was Amber, right? The girl that
yes.
was there. I thought she was going to be here tonight.
Like I said, she's running another mountain. I think she's training for her own thing right now. So, I told her I'd catch up with her some point this week at Monteau and just kind of feel out the idea of like what kind of race she can maybe bring to the Monteau thing. But they'd just be running straight up those trails,
So just some considerations on that is, we would have to shut down the mountain from a mountain biking standpoint. We'd have to do some signage, because there are people that kind of come in from the Pinnacle side and from different areas to kind of hit that. So if we were going to have that, we would want to post that information and do it. But I think that would, I envisioned it as a one-day event. They probably don't train. Like, it's probably just you show up and run.
Yeah.
So it's probably just a one day, whether it was a Saturday or Sunday, and I don't see that being an issue, but just something to consider.
Yeah, definitely.
So dates that we want to get on the books, next committee meeting, and then trail cleanup day. We had talked about doing that trail cleanup in the fall.
Late September? Mid-September? Late September?
Are we gonna do Sunday? A Sunday? Or
Saturday or Sunday. The only thing about Sundays is that there's a rental that's always usually there.
oh, that's right. At the lodge itself.
At the lodge itself. Which is fine, because we could just park further and walk around.
Right.
And they're done by noon, I think, aren't they?
Yeah, you typically start at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, right?
Yeah.
And they get there about 10. Sometimes some people, usually about 10 it's done.
Yeah.
But some people stay to 12 and stuff like that. But.
Yeah.
I would propose the 28th.
Okay.
Is a Sunday, as long as everybody's comfortable with that. I mean, we would park over on the other side anyway and not be a bother to them, I don't think. Little chainsawing in the distance.
So, do we say like 8 or 9 to noon for an idea? Trail cleanup.
What date you're looking at?
8 to 12. September 28th.
So why not a Saturday, just out of curiosity?
I work.
Good answer.
I'm actually going to be at a wedding that Saturday before.
And when you're retired, holidays are the same.
It
right?
doesn't
Right,
really
Bob?
matter, yeah. Every day's a work day. But I'm not opposed to trying to do a Saturday. But I couldn't do it.
I think the 28th is a good.
Perfect. So September 28th, what did we say, 8 to 12?
Yep.
8 to 12.
Maybe I'll see if Swiftwater wants to do pizzas again, although, it was a nice thing. They don't have to always do that.
Right, yeah.
Might have to buy some.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe we'll split it 50-50 this time.
Do they do food there? Oh,
Yeah. Oh, that's
and next meeting, we sticking with first Tuesday? Would be the second?
I was looking at the calendar real quick.
September.
I already have it as the second, September 2nd.
It's already in the books. That work for everybody. Cool. September 2nd, 4 p.m. Sweet. Anything else to discuss? Highlights, thoughts?
I just thought that it was a huge success the other weekend, so everyone who volunteered, who's here or not, thank you. And I guess I'd just like to say Anthony and Dave have done a hell of a job helping, especially more than me when my leg was broken and just seeing the stuff. And one last thing I'll say out loud is that, Anthony, you have some serious talent for making trails. These people absolutely love what is on our mountain because of you, and so just want to tip my hat to you for doing that.
I know you meant to add Al into that, the thank you.
We'll make all the rest of the trails just like that, except for a different audience.
Guy put in so much time.
Sorry, I didn't see you as much as I thought. But I know, I meant everyone that was helping.
If we were going for pounds of sweat lost, there might have been it was a combined effort for sure. But it was easier because it was the second time we did it, is the way I saw it. And if we do continue doing it, I think it just gets easier with time. So.
But it also just gets easier to host other things.
Right.
Too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Cool.
Better and better.
Seeing nothing else? Go ahead.
One more thing.
Yeah.
New Hampshire has got some grant money now, in particular for trails, for recreational trails. And what I propose is that your buddy John has written grants before, and I've written grants for the state. I know he probably hasn't done any for the state, but I'd like to work with John. And
he emailed you just recently to follow up on all that, so I don't know if you saw it in your email, but reach out, or I can coordinate with you guys.
I'll coordinate with him.
Yeah.
What organization is that John works for?
No, John's my neighbor. He's savvy with paperwork and government.
Is that Pinkerton?
No, a different John, actually. Yeah, that's another. No, just my neighbor.
What is his last name?
Glazer.
Okay.
And you're saying it's state grants, not federal?
No, they're state grants, but all the state grants, or 90% of them are federal.
Yeah.
It's federal money, but they do it on
Another
state
guy gave us a link to some funding as well for this type of stuff, but he did say that it was postponed for a year, but he was like, that's probably good for you guys to get all your buttons in a row.
And I think that we're probably at the stage where we want to be looking at for next year.
Right.
And with all the things in funding that you guys put into the trails and stuff already, the work that's been put into the trails, they're going to look at some serious people here that are looking to get something done, and that's the type of projects they typically look into.
Yeah, that'll be great. Yeah, so we'll search for grant money for trails and stuff like that. Try to figure out exactly what is out there, when.
Yeah, where do you find that information?
It's right on the state sites, and
yeah.
Like I said, I'll work with John, and because I applied for multiple grants for the district before, and John's done some other stuff, so I can work with him and take that on and see what we can do with it. So
Absolutely.
we don't have everybody running off and doing.
Yep.
Perfect. Perfecto. Anything else?
Let's check out the Outdoor Alliance as well and see. I think it's New Hampshire's Outdoor Alliance. They offer grants sometimes, maybe some hope funding. It's something to look into. I believe so. I know they help fund search and rescue
with
teams.
the information on them?
What's that?
Is that something that you have information on?
Yeah, I'll look into that.
That you could just forward to us?
Just make a note for me, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm still working with the Northern Forest Center. I've been talking with Joe Fox. I'm going to try to have a meeting with him sometime this month, and hopefully his availability will coincide with the September 2nd meeting, but we'll see. Yes.
Okay.
Awesome. All right, very good. Anything else? Going once.
Do you have any more of those cards?
Going twice.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. 4:55, we'll call this meeting to an end. Thank you all for being here.